What's up, everybody? I'm back here with another video today. I'm here with Miguel, and today is just a really quick video. We're gonna try to give you a few tips on how to improve your sports photography if that's something you're looking to get into. Let us know if this is helpful. Let me know if you wanna see more quick videos like this, and I'll be sure to make them. Let's get into tip number one. All right, tip number one should be pretty self-explanatory, but just in case you are getting into sports photography for the first time, you wanna use a high shutter speed. Now, the reason you want to use a high shutter speed is because sports are moving very fast. And typically with sports photography, you want to capture a moment frozen in time. So if you use a higher shutter speed, you'll be able to do that. If your shutter speed is probably anywhere below 1/1000th of a second, there's going to be too much motion blur in your image. That's just from my personal experience.
All right, so tip number two, I would say know the sport. Whether you're doing basketball, baseball, volleyball, you kind of want to be educated in that sport, knowing the angles so you can get the best shots. So for example, I know basketball, I shoot basketball, so I'm going to be either sideline, baseline, even I can change it up and get higher into the stands, zoom up, but it's all, you know the angles, you know the sport, and it's gonna help you in the long run.
All right, so tip number three is use a long lens. And what I mean by that is use a lens with a focal length of probably around 70 millimeters and upwards. And the reasoning for that is that with most sports, you can't be on the field. Pretty much all sports, you can't be on the field. So you need to be kind of far away from the subject you're shooting. And for example, I shoot a lot of soccer, and soccer fields are pretty big. So if I'm trying to shoot somebody on the other sideline and I'm on the near sideline, I need a lens that can probably shoot 200 millimeters in order to get that shot framed up nicely. And when you're picking your lenses to use, typically you should pick a zoom lens, aka one that can shoot multiple focal lengths. So something like a 70 to 200 is good because you have that versatility when you're shooting. If you're shooting something closer, you can zoom out to 70 millimeters. If you're shooting something farther away, you can zoom into like 200 millimeters. There are a bunch of different options out there. 70 to 200 is probably the most common for sports photographers. I know there's also 100 to 400 and stuff like that, but basically make sure you're using a zoom lens that's also a long lens.
All right, tip number four would be to get creative. And not to contradict from Sam's previous tip of using a long lens, but there's nothing wrong with using a wider lens. You can get creative with it. There's gonna be times where you're not really shooting just the games. You can shoot a workouts where you kind of get closer to the player and whatnot. So having a wide focal length, get some nice wide shots and kind of add some more dynamic into your portfolio. And for example, I'll show some pictures here, but there's been times where I can get like right on the baseline and the guy's shooting up. So it's just like super wide and you can get that type of shot. So it's super, just get creative with it and you can do different focal lengths. Yeah, it'll definitely enhance your portfolio. All right, and tip number five would be to reach out to your local athletes, whether it's baseball, football, basketball. Just reach out and tell them, hey, I wanna shoot your workouts, your games. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna say yes. Like, who doesn't want photos of themselves? You start working with them, then they'll be able to get you into the games, and you start getting better, getting more in your portfolio, and then you'll be shooting whatever games you want.
And little bonus tip, even though this is supposed to be only 5 tips, don't limit yourself to just one form of sports photography. Sports photography is such a big realm of photography. There's so much more to it than just games and practices and stuff like that. For example, I shoot a lot of sports product photos. There's also, you can just take a lot of like portraits in general of sports players. There's just so much you can do, so don't limit yourself to one small portion of it. All right, those are our best tips for improving your sports photography. If any of you guys can think of any other tips, leave them down in the comments section below so other people can learn. Anyway, with that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to me, subscribe to Miguel, and follow him on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram too, that'd be nice. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.